Okay, all right, we're going to start off, and of course, as always, everybody, there we go. It's telling me we are live with today's Sizzle Stocks. We are going to cover stocks whose earnings are coming out tomorrow. So this is Tuesday. So for stocks on 4/19, of course, we'll look at any other names that you want to look at. And again, as a quick reminder, the couple tools that I use is this volume profile here on the right-hand side of the chart. It's this histogram. What it does is it plots volume per price over the time frame. So in this case, we're looking over last 30 days, and it creates volume bars for how much volume traded at those prices across the range of the last 30 days. Like volume is broken down typically along time periods. And here we break it up along price. And this red and green and these red, green, blue lines, that's the opportunity zone indicator. What it does is helps me dimensionalize this volume profile, which is what the light blue histogram is. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we got Tesla up first. They're reporting tomorrow. Let's see, what do we got? 95 cents was the last year's earnings per share. Consensus forecast for tomorrow is 75 cents. So a bit of a fall, but let's see. What do we got? All right, we got a little trading down here on the 30-day. So this is kind of very range bound. It looks like it's developing a range here between 200 and 169. Let's just zoom in and see if there's any. Oh, this looks skewed down to the downside a little bit. It's kind of hinting lower. Let's go. Let's zoom in. And this 5 days not too convincing. Just kind of, no real skew or bias in the volume profile. Not enough worth. But this looks like a little bearish too. So what do we got down here? This is on the 1 day. We're looking down 182, 180 from 184. Yeah, of course, not a whole lot. What's the 30-day tell us? The 30-day one. So 182. It's put today. Pushing it down here, and I think there's a decent chance. I would say so. We're at that point of control. Like if it gets below 179. We could be looking at 169 as a target. So let me make a note of that. So what do we got? Tesla, bearish, below 179 to 170. Okay, all right, that's cool. Let's zoom out a little bit on Tesla. See how the volume is. So what you guys? Here's a quick. Let me go back to 30-day. So what I'm seeing is, volume kind of building to the downside, and then you've got this gap, right? So there's a bit of a bias downwards, and then you've got this gap downwards that it can fill. Let's go to 90-day. So on the 90-day, it'll easily, it's been down to 100, right? So trading down to 170s, where's 170? Trading down to here is, based on the last 90 days, is no problem at all. All right. So that's, it could, depending on earnings, it could go a lot more. And of course, the broader market's making new highs, but this is all looking a little bit, looking a bit bearish to me. Let's see. What's another good one to talk? Okay. So that's Tesla. Let's take a look at Morgan Stanley. All right. The banks. So Morgan Stanley, see here, this is much cleaner. So this is 90-day. This is much cleaner. Volumes building through here, and then you've got this gap, right? So 70 looks like a reasonable target on below 83. So here's the point of control. That's where most of the trading has happened. Here's the bottom end. The 80%, 68% of the volume has traded between these two value areas, right? And then below this, you've got a pretty sharp drop down to 70, 75. I think below 83 you've got a bearish move. But let's look short. We're kind of out. Let's see what the 1 year 180 day. Let's see what the 180 day tells us. That's an easy move down to 75 or so, 78. Excuse me. Let's go down to the 30 day. This looks bearish, building, and then a drop down to 77 on the 30 day. 10 day, building. All right, I'm sticking with that. Okay, Morgan Stanley. So the problem, Morgan Stanley I don't think they really do the banking side. So it's not like they got a rush of deposits. I don't know. I'm actually not 100% on that. But anyway, the way the volume, the way the trading has happened, it looks bearish to me over the next definitely a few weeks, down to, what do we got? 79. I think below. You know what? I would say we're up here at 88. We're up on this upper end of this range right here. I'd say it's bearish here. And at, what are we at? 89 or so. I'd feel pretty comfortable with that. You might want to wait till it drops below this 88.96, but it's down to 84, possibly 77. There's here to 84 or 77. Yep. Okay, that's Morgan Stanley. All right, I like the way this volume profile looks. That looks good. That's I'm going to put a nice little star by that one. Okay, what's next? IBM. Big boring stock, but let's see. Yep, wrong ticker. IBM. Not a whole lot of bias. It's kind of scattered. Let's zoom way out. IBM is a very range bound stock. Like you've got, here's over the last 2 years, 115 to 150. If we zoomed out to 3 years, 150, down to 100, 105, just a little bit wider on the downside. If we did 5 years, 150 is still the top. And, it plunged, just in the big sell-off. The banking scare? Was that? No one was this. Yeah, that was just a month ago. Right? Oh, no. This was last year. Okay. So, it's a very range-bound stock. So, there's a way to just kind of play this range-bound. If we look, let me go back to the 2 year. Sorry, jumping around a little bit. This looks like it's at 128. It's kind of near the bottom end of the range, but not significantly so, right? It's not too hard for it to move down here into this range. Let's just see what near term's telling us about earnings tomorrow. So again, there's not a whole lot of direction here, possibly lower. There's a little bit of gap to fill, you could say. Yeah, it's just all over the place within this range, 127 to 132. Volume all through there. So nothing, there's nothing in IBM, nothing that I can tell. Don't want to force a pass that tells us so. IBM, nothing that I can see here. All right, let's go through here. What else do we got? Okay, what do we got? U.S. Bancorp. Let's look at that. U.S. Bancorp's coming out tomorrow. U.S. Bank, they came out at 99 cents last. 113 is the consensus for tomorrow. So USB, so that's their earnings are up. U.S. Bancorp, big custodian for mutual funds. So that's a stable business model, serving asset managers, wealth managers, trust departments, that sort of thing. And a little bit of, I don't think we're going to see much here. Let me just poke around. Don't see anything there. Maybe a bit of a bid building. A little bit of the buyers are on offense here. But Let's go out. Let's zoom out. Even though there's this, looks like there's this gap, that's, right here, you've kind of got some symmetry building around this $35. So we're moving on. I'm not going to waste any more time, waste time looking at this. All right. So moving on from US Bancorp. Las Vegas Sands. Okay. Let's see what, little gaming. Boom, boom, boom. And of course, if you guys have anything in particular you want me to look at, drop the tickers in the chat. Let's see. Las Vegas Sands, LVS. No real bias here. What's the expectations on this one? We got 40-cent loss last, 17 consensus earnings estimates for tomorrow. Okay, so 30-day, 10-day, maybe a slight build, but hard to say. 5-day, it's up the upper end of the range. Not that there's enough to really play with here. Let's see, what's this saying? This is giving me. No. All right, let's look longer term. Let's look 1 day over the last 24. Okay. All right. So, okay, this is interesting. So this is over the last 24 hours. You've got it initiated and failed here. And then it sold off on building volume, and now it's taken another relief. It peaked back up across this opportunity zone. But, you've got a push, I think we could be looking at a close below 58, possibly down here around 57. Okay, so let's keep that number in mind. Let's look back at the 30-day, see what that says. 57. So if it gets there, let's zoom out. Okay, so this on the 90-day. Okay, so I'm gonna make note of this. Las Vegas Sands. You've got some building volume here, and 51 is easily within range. Based on that kind of momentum, that could be kickstarted from this 1 day, right? I see this, I say, boom, building momentum down to 57. Who knows exactly how far that could carry it over over the next few days, or what earnings are, depending on the earnings. But I think you've got some momentum building to the downside. I could take this thing, below this 57, possibly to 53 or 51. So, because we are at at 4,200 on the S&P. That's about the top end of where I expected this market to go. It could go a little bit higher, but I'm still pretty comfortable with these being pretty lofty levels. Earnings season should not. I don't expect it to be very bullish. So, these bearish plays, I think, are the right thing right now. Below 57, bearish below 57.29 to 51 bucks. Okay, you guys got that? All right, good. That's and you know what? Hey, I tell you what, if you guys have any color, anything that you or if you've got an axe to grind in any of these stocks, share. And we all stand to benefit from letting everybody know what you know, what you're thinking, that sort of thing, your perspective. KMI, Kinder Morgan. And let me confirm that I'm recording this thing. Yeah. Okay. Okay. KMI, Kinder Morgan. Let's see. What are the expectations here? Kinder Morgan, we've got 32 cents last, coming out tomorrow at 29 is the consensus. This looks like a range, though it's down to 16. That's kind of a thin, pretty narrow range, right, for 90 days. Although I guess it's a very low price stock. No bias there. That's a 30-day. So when I say no bias, right? Let me go back to that. Sorry, let me go back. When I say no bias, there's just as much trading volume at 1650 as there is at 1681, and basically, 1776. All of these points, there's just a lot of participation within here. So no real bias. It's not like the volume is building up to this price or building down to this price, right? So no bias. On the 10-day, a little bit of downward bias, right? Kind of rejected on higher volume, and you've got this gap, but that's not enough. That's not enough room to play. I don't think there's much here. A little bit of bias on the 5-day. Let's just take a quick look out longer term. Okay, yeah, nothing to do here on Kinder Morgan. And this is the 1 year, and it's close to this point of control. It's in this center. There's just no real motivation for it. It's just going to trade around in this range. So nobody expects. I don't see the market expecting too much out of Kinder Morgan. Travelers. It is so TRV 422 last, 364 consensus. TRV Travelers. So the very long term, kind of got this bid building here, but if the world looks very different for financials over the last month than they did a year ago, but you kind of got this, and it's right at the point of control. Okay, so I'm not expecting too much, but let's see if there's some opportunity within a range. This is building a little bearish, but then you've got a support right here. It's not but this you've got building and declining, right? So there's just some symmetry here that again is not a whole lot of bias. Now it's when you see these, I see a lot of algorithms coming in at these price point. Those sharp sharp increases in volume right there at one single price. That's a sign of algorithm trading, I believe. Right here at the price point. Okay, Travelers. There's nothing to look at. Travelers here. So we are moving on. Baker Hughes. Okay, interesting energy stock. And where is oil? Let's take a quick look. Crude oil. Crude oil is at $83. Definitely moving. Looks a little bearish. But anyway, back to Baker Hughes. Over the last 30 days. Looks bearish. 29, all the way down to possibly 25 or 24. So let me, Baker, bearish to 24. Oh, and what's there? Sorry, I didn't give you there, Baker. We got 15 cents last, expect to come out of 26. Okay. Nothing here on the 10-day. Not really much here on the 5-day. Let's see what they're thinking. Yeah, there's just nothing near term, but I'd say this. Excuse me. Got to sneeze. It's just right there on the edge. Okay, no direction out of no real direction out of Baker Hughes. Yeah, so let's just keep on chugging. We've got NASDAQ, NDAQ. NASDAQ Inc. Upper end of a range. Building volume could be, that's a 10% move. That's something you can do, down to 50, possibly 49. you might want to, this is a one where, okay, we're flirting with this range, and we've got earnings coming out tomorrow. And did I tell you what they're coming out? I didn't. 66 versus 65. So this is one where, this is basically, let's call it 3 standard deviations away, an extreme level, right? And so either it might want to break through and push higher, or it fails and drives lower. So it's kind of dangerous without something else telling you, bullish or bearish out of here, which direction it wants to break, to try it in here. So you kind of want to want to make a decent move out of here down below this 54.92. So I would say below NASDAQ. Listen, let me make some notes on this. NASDAQ, bearish, below 54.92, and then take that down to, it's possibly $50. But you got to trade these things actively, right? Let's look short term and see what. We got this gap down here. I like it. And that's, you still, what is this, 55? Where's the 54? Yeah, so this is that resistance level basically right here. So, this looks pretty good. I like it. 5-day, nothing there. I wonder if the 1 day, let's see. You could say maybe a little bit of a bid here. Okay, so that's why, this is basically that, this range right here from 55 to 56 is basically that green and red zone, that 3 standard deviation zone we looked at the 30-day. And so, maybe it wants to shoot a little bit. It might want to test a higher level. That's why I suggest that on the 30-day, or that's why I suggest waiting until it gets basically below 55 right here. Okay, 54.92. All right, that's a good one. What's that? Got Discover Financial. DFS. DFS. Okay, and it was 422 last, coming in at 391, expected tomorrow. This looks a little bid. Let's see let's kick around. This looks a little bid. Though it might have a little hard time getting through 103 here. Let's see, I see somebody dropped something in there. We'll check on that in a second. Upper end of a range, but no real buy. This could be. Let's look at 1 day. Let's look at 90-day. I say I think Discover DFS looks a bit bullish. Was it the 90-day? No, I take that back. There's nothing. I don't see much here in DFS. Let's see. Somebody posted something. NVIDIA, Marco, you bet. Of course, we can look at NVIDIA. Okay. NVIDIA. NVIDIA. 90-day. Let's see. What's this? This is a huge range. This is grinding, right? Just a lot of volume all through here. That's from 277 all the way down to 150. Yeah, that's volatility, folks. Ooh, this is a little bit of a topping out. Okay, it's kind of gotten to this range and volumes build down here to this point of control, which is the most volume over the last 30 days, down to 265. Kind of pointing to 245, possibly lower. Let's see what the shorter time frame says. That's bearish. Push it down below 256, and then there's more. So below 256. So you have to kind of work between these, right? I know it's a little. So 256, and then you got this gap down to 245. So I'd say you could there's a reasonable trade to trade this thing right now at 277. Breaks below 257. And if it still looks like it's got some momentum, you could let it run down to 251 or even 245, right? But you gotta be watching that, Marco. So this is pushing. This looks skewed downward. Volume building to the downside. 5-day looks bullish. Bearish. Volume building to the downside. 1 day, you got this gap, and what? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A little bit of trading here could cover this gap through the day. So anyway, that's and you can see volume has been declined. Had a big. So you had a bigger volume up here, and then volume dropping. Starting to make a move. I think it looks. I think NVIDIA looks pretty bearish. Down to, let me get some. So let's see. I'd say bearish here. Down to possibly 246. Okay, but you gotta keep an eye on that. Good one, Marco. Thank you. All right, we got just a couple minutes left. Let's take a look at the broader markets. All right, if that works for you guys. All right, what do we got? All right, cool. Good luck, Marco. Marco's going to take that trade, which I should. All right, here, let's just look at the S&P 500. We are, so long time ago, several months now, I'm like, the market is going to have a hard time getting above 4,200. Has it, let's see, over the last, how long has it been since it, so over the last 180 days, the high has been 43.18. Over the last 3 months, the high has been 42.10. So it's just creeped up there, a while back. I still think it's rejecting this, around 4,200, right? It's not. You've got this. Over the 90-day, you're getting to extreme level. You've got this building, taking it back down here to like 39.90 pretty easily. That's where most of the trading has happened over the last 3 months. Or last 90, I imagine that's trading days. So last 90 days. But boy, it's cuspy. This is definitely a level. We are right here at a pivot point. So it's, is this building? Is this bullish? No, but it's not necessarily bearish either. 10-day. This looks like an interesting rejection down here to 4,100. So below 4160. So let's do this. Hold on 1 second. S&P below. Oh, 1 second. I'm talking to my Slack. Sorry, guys. I'd say I might. This is a trade. I like to trade these below 41.59. 41.59 to, possibly. It's 4,100 to 4,100. That's a 10-day. That's just on the 10-day, right? So, 40.97 here on the 5-day. Let's just see what the 1 day is telling us. This is a good one to leave on. This is a good one. Good one to end. And just ended the sentence with the preposition. Building, it kind of failed, and now it's motivated. Look at this. You can see it here too. The volume building. Motivated selling. And below 41.59 is what I marked. So, and this is the point of control on the 1 day, 41.62, which is awfully close to 41.59. I like it. I'm just going to say this is short. Okay. Good. Excellent. Guys, we're going to be, I'm really enjoying these again. We are going to be picking these up, a few times a week. Hope you find it valuable. Always bring names or we can look at commodity markets too. and share whatever you know. But Marco, thanks for that recommendation. Hope you guys got something to look at out of this. And probably won't be doing this tomorrow, but most likely pick it up again on Thursday. So we'll see y'all. All right. Have a good one.